What's going on, boys? In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys some game-changing tips on how to make sure you and your team get out of FNCS Division 3 and move on to Division 2. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make in Division 3 is constantly trying to W key. Although fighting isn't inherently bad, it's more about the time you decide to key. Realistically, the only time you should be actively keying is within your first 1 or 2 games. After you drop a high kill win within those games, you need to just fully stop keying and play your endgames out. Division 3 lobbies are full of people who don't have a lot of competitive experience, and abusing the fact that most players have absolutely no idea what they're doing is going to help you make the most out of your games if you play them correctly. Just to quickly highlight an example of a team who needed this advice earlier, here you can see they dropped a massive 44 kill win, then completely sold back-to-back games for the next 2.5 hours of the tournament. After that big key game, they only managed to get another 40 points before the end of day 1. They weren't focused on playing their games out, and this just goes to show the importance of playing your games no matter how bad the lobby is. Had they stopped keying and kept a consistent pace, they could have easily placed top 10 overall to end day 1. The format of the FNCS Divisional Cups will not reward you for keying. It's 1 point per kill with placement starting at top 17 for a total of 65 placement points for the win. Placement is distributed extremely evenly, so if you aren't able to consistently secure top 3s, you can still easily rack up 40 extra points from all the early placement. Now that we've highlighted the playstyle, let's get into the loadout meta of Division 3. All members of your trio should be carrying the Sentinel Pump Shotgun paired with the Hollow Twister AR. If you really need to conserve ammo, then one of you should carry an SMG, but for the majority of your games, you should be triple scoped AR. For your heals, you guys should have 6 bigs, 12 splashes, 6 minis, and 3 medkits divided up between you. So one of you could have 3 bigs, 6 splashes, another could have 3 bigs, 3 medkits, and the last one could have 6 minis and 6 splashes. An exception to this healing layout would be if your team already has 12 splashes and then finds at least 4 more, giving you 16 total. At that point, whoever's carrying medkits should drop them and carry the extra splashes. But remember, only if it's 4 or more. Don't drop 3 medkits for 2 splashes. And to further clarify, one person should never be carrying 2 stacks of splashes, because if that person gets hit super hard down to 1 HP, their first instinct is going to be to pop those splashes and waste a whole bunch of heals. Or if they die, they've literally gifted an enemy team an extra 720 combined HP of heals. Water sprites were definitely the meta before splashes got added, but the ability to move while popping and not having to worry about any sort of cooldown just makes splashes the more viable option. Sprites are great if you can't find splashes, because if you bring them to a shrine, they grant you a water boon that you can use to continuously heal you and your teammates. But in most games, you're definitely going to find at least 6 splashes. Now, onto your mobility. This should be common knowledge by now, but the Void Mask is the best mobility item right now. Previously, it was the sword, but with the EJ Dash nerf, the sword just isn't what it used to be. A lot of people don't like voids, but it's way easier to use as long as you mark the direction you want to land. If your trio launches their voids at the same mark, it's going to be much easier to stay together and keep each other alive on each rotate. All these tips I'm giving also apply to day 2, because your combined placement is what determines whether you qualify to Division 2 or not. In the last Division 3 Cup, it was 570 combined points to qualify. However, that number will vary from week to week. I'd say that 575 to 580 points combined is 100% safe for top 200. That might seem like a lot, but remember divisional cups are across 2 days, so say day 1 you guys really lock in and end the day with 325 points, then on day 2 you only need a minimum of 250 points to qualify. Your goal should be to set yourself up for a chill day 2. If you get a low point day 1, then you might need 350 to 400 points to be top 200. And that's going to be a lot of extra pressure on your team and extremely difficult to pull off. You should go into day 2 with the mindset of picking out what you can learn, playing for the PR, and getting ready for next week. The last point I'd like to make is that you need to make sure you have a strong drop spot. Finding a spot can be difficult, but some key things to consider are the location on the map, amount of chests, amount of metal, and how contested it usually is. Another thing is making sure the layout of your spot fits your fighting style. For example, I absolutely hate Warrior's Watch. It's super vertical, and that just doesn't give me an advantage as a player. Some people don't mind a vertical spot, but for me, it'll never work. So just make sure your trio is comfortable in the environment you guys are landing. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and good luck in the upcoming Division 3 tournament.